different. You go to hockey games to get excited. Two goals with the goalie pulled, and the Bruins, showing hearts of lions, have tied it 3-3.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. Still shorthanded as the Doyles. They're on their 3-month honeymoon, gallivanting the world. But we're here, the two of us holding down the fort for episode 28. Hope you all tuned in last week, trying to keep them short and sweet here, kind of with the Bruins offseason, not the NHL offseason upon us. Trying to keep it fun. Some good topics here coming at you today, and we're still waiting on a surprise drop for everyone. So keep that in the calendar. Tune into the socials here it should be next week at some point that we're able to officially announce this here, but super excited to roll this out. Good things cooking here on the Same Seat side. But Brian, how are you? Friday, May 29th, almost in June. Nuts.
I know. Virus is out of me. Huge, humongous. Just Hall of Fame numbers sleeping. We're back.
You're just too tough.
We're so back. Immune system's back. Everything's back. But doing well. I'm still. Have you thought about how the playoffs have been scheduled for both the NBA and the NHL? Have you ever seen this much time off for teams? And it just seems very bizarre. Like I was definitely against the general population of what people were saying with like the playoff structure, but I'm starting to think like they got to fine tune this playoff structure, because we can't just keep waiting around. Like teams can't have 12 days off in the playoffs. That goes against everything that we believe in with the playoffs.
I agree, but what do you do?
I don't know.
Right? Like
No idea.
Teams aren't going to play back to backs, and they're playing every other night for the most part. And if some team puts belt to cheeks on another team, like Vegas just did, it's like, and who knows, maybe Montreal sparks something, but they look like they're dead in the water.
Yeah,
like,
they're dead.
I mean, yeah, we could honestly just write them off now.
I hope Carolina loses in the most gut-wrenching fashion in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I want
to see Vegas beat the piss out of them.
So, like, obviously, sweep would be sweet, but I want like Game 7 overtime winner from Vegas. Like, I want it to be at home in Carolina. I want them to be so deflated where they come back in and they're just like, I don't know what to do. No, we don't know what to do.
We love the game. I just can't get it over as quick as possible. Like we're in June here, people. We're in June. Go hit the islands, go to Nantucket for the weekend, sign off of work early on a Friday. We don't need to be these 8:00 start times. Just trying to, with toothpicks, keeping our eyes open to get through the rest of the games here. Like
I'm hockeyed out.
Yeah, let's just call a spade a spade.
Done. Like even I think the World Championships are the most bizarre tournament ever.
Doesn't it feel forced?
Yeah, it's like even some of these guys playing. Like, why was Matt Tkachuk playing in that? Like, dude, back-to-back Stanley Cups, gold medal. Buddy,
go to the elbow room and have 17 Coronas.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe get healthy. You just had a kid too. Like,
I have no idea. I've never understood the World Championships. I've only followed them this year because we have a podcast and they have a couple of Bruins guys floating around there. But God Almighty, I haven't even attempted to watch a game.
Farthest thing from my radar.
No
like Love Island's coming on TV here in a couple weeks. I'm more fired up to watch trashy reality TV than I am to
is that
tune
in
in.
Boston?
No, that's we're dialed in here in the Almeida household on just trashy reality TV. That is Love is Blind coming to Boston.
Oh yes, that's the one.
In the fall, I think they're rolling it out.
And you have what's the Rhode Island show?
The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Quite the buzz. We're all in.
Did you see the whole Ed Cooley thing?
Allegedly not true. Allegedly not true.
But
allegedly.
uncanny how much the details align with what took place a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this show's dynamite. We can jump in here. So, Rhode Island, God, I love this place, right? Just all roads lead back to Rhode Island. There's I don't know all the names, but there's a girl who was on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, one of the two. And like one of our lines was like, yeah, there's just something about it. Like you marry someone from Rhode Island, you just end up in Rhode Island. And Briley's like looking at me. I can just feel her staring at me. I'm like, oh boy. And then just like all the stuff she keeps saying, like the little chirps are just beyond accurate. And it's like ridiculous because there's like 1, maybe 2 degrees separation between like me and people I know and people on the show. My dad was at the pool store the other day and he's like, oh yeah, I saw Gary Tiberi there, like Joellen, her husband. And like my dad grew up with his dad. It's like completely ridiculous.
Are these people on the show?
Oh yeah. It's insane. But yeah, we're like totally locked in.
But they don't, I can't imagine they're making that much money from being on the show. It's got to be the reciprocals of brand deals and
yeah,
because there's no way. What is it, Bravo?
Yeah, it is Bravo, but dude, they pump Bravo, but I think NBC owns Bravo.
Okay,
because all of them are on Peacock. But I have a theory that so there's this couple or this guy Jerry McGraw. He owned a beautiful sport fish boat called Gypsy. Used to be in Newport, fished all the tournaments, was super dialed. That him and his wife, I don't know, she's hysterical. I'm forgetting her name. But they own like a massive weed shop in the state. They're like one of a few people, and they have just boku money. And I'm sure like they had a say in like getting the Real Housewives to Rhode Island. That's just my tinfoil hat theory. But yeah, holy crap, we're going down a rabbit hole. But yeah, I can't imagine they make a lot of money. Moral of the story.
No chance. Absolutely.
They just like it to inflate their ego, but dude, we're so dialed in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tune into that at some point. I'm big into the YouTube golf right now. That's it's like my drug of choice.
'Tis the season.
Can't stop watching it. They did. I mean, Shinnecock's coming up for the U.S. Open out in Long Island, arguably the number 1 course in the world, and they allowed a ton of creators to jump out there and play. And holy cow, that course has some teeth to it. And it's going to be a brutal U.S. Open, but that has me by the nuts. And then they're doing a bunch of matches internally, and then I think that rolls right into the second Internet Invitational, which is a fantastic watch. And these people,
I haven't got around to the first one. I got to dial into that.
Dude, these people, they're putting for $20,000 putts on some of these matches. Just dumb money. But so jealous of these courses that they get to play on a daily basis. It's unbelievable.
So this is my 2 cents on it. I consume YouTube fishing probably the way you consume YouTube golf. Yeah. I couldn't imagine sitting there just watching guys take hacks or girls take hacks for, I don't know, 30 minutes at a time, probably as if someone, Briley, can't stand me just sitting there watching guys just like this Australian dude just run around like a madman, like with the GoPro catch and cook. And I don't know. It's just YouTube is a wild place to explore.
It is. But I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but the guy that's on Bob Does Sports, Joey Colcuts, I don't know if you ever saw that name roll around, but he was in Boston for, I think, just doing content, but he played over in Brockton. I forget the name of the course. Thorny Lake.
Oh, yeah. I got a buddy who's a member over there.
Yeah, I think Pat Horrocks used to be a member there or still is a member there. I've played up there one time. Tough course. Really nice course, though. But him and Tuca played up there.
Oh, you know what? I did see some of those clips on like Bleacher Report. Like that. Yeah. They got a pretty good account, BR Open Ice or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I saw those floating around.
But, I mean, just being able to fly into Massachusetts and you get to play a private track immediately, like These guys,
Must be nice.
these guys have it made. Completely have it made.
Well,
So
and they're
I
probably
think it's
sticks too. Couldn't be us.
no,
Couldn't be us. I mean, granted, I don't even have a driver in my bag, so not me for
no.
a fact.
Soon, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If anyone's looking to donate a driver, let me know because we got some content planned, and I ain't getting out of the tee box with the 7.
No, we can. We'll go up to Golfers Warehouse. No free ads, but free. There's a ton of like reasonably priced golf clubs up there.
That might even be just a little out of stretch. Secondhand's cool. Secondhand. If
That's
it's hanging on by a thread,
used.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not looking to buy new here, folks. We're drinking store brand coffee here in the Almeida house. We're not getting the upper echelon crap.
Ice chips for dinner.
Yeah. Ice chips and like bananas hanging on by a thread before the fruit flies come. But anyways, completely off the rails. BCam, what do you got cooking for us? I know you've been doing your homework here on the World Championships. There's some draft chatter, which has been pretty good. And then there's the big wigs, we'll call them, are doing a little bit of kind of rumor boys, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the World Championships are a ridiculous tournament, in my opinion. So I've been box score reading the entire time. But Reichel's playing well. Last I looked, he had 8 points in 8 games, 4 goals. So there's got to be something there. There has to be something there because he's still playing against NHL talent. And I don't know. Maybe it's the opportunity. Maybe it's players he's playing with. I have no idea. But maybe we have to get another German guy in there. Maybe that's the fix.
Leon.
That's what I'm saying. Yoki Haru, 8 points in 7 games.
Isn't this game the most confusing game on the planet?
It's so confusing, but I've seen a ton of people tweet about his game and being like, oh, like we just got to give him another shot next year and maybe this offense can pump out maybe 40, 50 points or whatever. Listen, I'm all for risk. That's not the risk I'm taking. I don't necessarily hate him as much as other people hate him, but I don't even know if he's on a Stanley Cup team. I really don't. He belongs in the NHL, like I said, but not on my Bruins.
But our Bruins are not a Stanley Cup team at this point in time.
They are not.
They are not. So it's like,
I know.
The devil, almost at that stage, because what's going to happen with Peak, right? If Peak's out, he slides in. Yoki Haru's making what, $3 a year? I don't know.
I know it's a pretty cheap ticket.
But then he plays on the national teams and he looks like he's Kale McCarr out there, and you're just like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like even like Minton's got 4 points in 7 games, played fairly well. Blumel, 4 points in 7 games. Steve's played pretty well. Hagen's I saw he got sat in the third period of the game that they got eliminated yesterday. Just can't seem to find his stride. But I saw some account tweeted out like all the different teams he's played with, which we were on first last week. It's been a hell of a year, and that's why I was so confused why I even went to this stupid tournament anyways.
If anything, it's not doing much for his confidence, right? Like you have that kid Ivar Stenberg or whatever his last name is.
I saw him play. Holy cow.
He's like, what the hell? I know. McKenna's a hell of a player, but the Leafs would be kind of dumb if they don't take this guy. Like honestly, like this he's been playing with men. He looks great at the World Championships, but then we have Jimmy Hagens over there, and it's just like,
I know. It's not good.
No, it's a little concerning as a Bruins fan, honestly.
I all I wanted him to do is like go back home, like play street hockey with your buddies, jump into some open ice.
Work on the charter boat, just like
just
hammer some bass, get the fluke going,
clear the brain, just get that confidence back. This has been a tumultuous year.
Good word.
I hate where this is heading. But
it's not reassuring.
Got to stay positive here because I mean I'm thinking of other guys that I think deserve a shot next year, and it's like the list is pretty vast. I mean you got to think Brunet gets a look. Obviously DiPietro gets a look. Does Poitras get a look if they keep him around? Does Lysell get a look finally this year? Like there's so many names and there's just there's so little spots on this lineup that I don't really understand. And I actually was thinking about this earlier. Um, I think the Bruins should explore that trade with Anaheim for McTavish and potentially get rid of Zaka. That's where my brain's going.
I just think there's such a logjam of average players in the Bruins organization
I know.
that they're just going to kind of keep flip flopping and moving guys in and out. They need to make a splash. They need to get rid of some of these average guys. Lorai's name has been thrown around. I saw in a recent article, I think it was on it might have been on Sportsnet or something. I don't know, one of the Canadian networks. And he's making like $3 a year. And well, that opens up an opportunity for Brunet, but I don't know, like if you move, we dogged Lorai pretty good this year. Like honestly, call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you move off of a guy like him. Tall, rangy, good offensive upside, a little bit of a defensive liability. Yeah, but you can work on that.
100%.
Like that's, you can't teach a guy how to think offensively, right? It's just how a guy thinks, right? You can teach him positioning defensively and just keep harping on it. I don't know if that's a guy you move off of.
I'm in the camp of keeping him. I've been there. I've been pretty steady on that train. I think, and I'm pretty steady on keeping Middlestead too. I don't see the need of moving these guys. I mean, Middlestead's got an expiring contract after next year, and I think he's like 5.75, and
which isn't a bad cap hit.
No, but these trade proposals, I don't know what accounts they're coming from, but God Almighty, they think that Casey Middlestead's going to be like Casey Middlestead, a first round pick for Robert Thomas. These people just don't understand how the trade market works, and honestly, I don't think I did either until I saw the trade deadline deals that went through and what people were giving up for players, and like the Falk trade and the Rasmus Anderson trade are the two that stick out to me. They dropped their pants to get these guys, and obviously
worked for Vegas, not for Detroit.
Yeah, but like even so, you can't convince me that Rasmus has been this unbelievable player for Vegas that has pushed them to this point. Like he's been a contributing member, but like I don't think that I think they still make the cup without Rasmus Anderson on the back end.
Yes, but I think I was listening to Butch on Chicklets earlier today. And he said Vegas, for example, because we're on the Rasmus Anderson thing. It's like they know when they need to push the chips in, and they will make a move to better their team at this point in time. So you overpay. They're just like, a blizzard's coming. You're going to overpay for a generator. They're not on sale, and you're probably going to buy one on Facebook Marketplace for a lot more money if they're out of stock. You're going to overpay in situations where you have to. So I think the Rasmus Anderson one is justified. They won the West, but you see Falk. I think Falk and Rasmus Anderson are very different players. And Rasmus Anderson is at a whole nother level than Falk.
Mm.
So, and to your point, this year I think we're a little more dialed into it, and we've kind of seen what's what. Before it was like, oh, whatever, they're sending a first and a second. Like, who cares? Like, regardless of the team. But yeah, like. It's what do you package Casey with? Because he's like him and the 23rd overall pick aren't gonna they're not gonna yield a lot.
No,
like you need NHL ready guys now. Yeah. And not to talk Chicklets again, but they had Gortz on. Talked about how he built the Bruins and what a bag fumble that was, letting that guy go.
That's why I did a whole podcast on it.
But I know it's like, and again, we've talked about like how his thought process on building a team. The Bruins are not there.
No, and I've known, I'll call him Mr. Gordon for fucking 30 years. He's an unbelievable dude. You can tell that the Bruins dropped the ball on him completely, and it's such a shame because he already had shown what he had done for the Bruins in the short time that he was here.
He turned the franchise around.
He traded Andrew Raycroft in a draft pick for Tuukka Rask. He won a Vezina with us, and
Felder will still bash Tuukka, clown ass.
Signed Savard and drafted Kessel and signed Chara and like all these moves, and I mean, he did more for the Bruins in like a 9-month span than Don has in a decade. It's a complete joke. But anyways, before we go off on a tangent there, but you could just tell he's so well spoken on the microphone too, and talking about how like he's in the locker room and trying to get to know Yandel's family well, and trying to be like not a that boss that you don't want to run into in the hallway, just being a good dude all the way
Be a
around.
dude.
Yeah, and I mean
You
it
can
starts
tell.
it starts from the top. It starts from the top. It always has, and I think he recognizes that completely. And it's not a coincidence that Montreal has had the success that they've had because of the personnel that they have behind the scenes of St. Louis, Jeff Gorton.
It's all who you surround yourself with.
Kent Johnston? No, what's his name?
Hughes.
Yeah, Kent Hughes. Like they have, I mean, two of the three are Massachusetts guys. I think Kent Hughes is a Massachusetts.
I think yes as well. So
That's
like,
also-
there's something in the water.
There's also not a coincidence.
Marty Hockey East guy, I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly.
Well,
But,
full circle. The Bees are just going to draft the kid from BC or
They
whatever
are.
from Mass. So like, let's just
100%. But I was on the phone with my dad yesterday, and I'm staying strong on this. I have given Cam Neely and Don Sweeney a free pass until the deadline of next year. No qualms with any moves that they make.
that's the cutoff.
That's my span of time that I'm giving them to just lay off them. No hatred. Just let them do what they're doing, because they've won some trades. They've done the best that they could with this roster, and the Bruins overachieved this year. So giving them some grace. But we need some splashes. So this is a great segue into the segment that I watched with Bucci and Frank Saravelli yesterday. And a lot was talked about the free agent market, but also about the offer sheet piece of it all. And we have came to conclusion on this podcast that the Bruins need to make a splash, and that's getting a little risky and
Big
maybe
name.
suffering some draft picks, maybe some players that maybe some Bruins fans don't want to see move. But a couple of they put them into two different tiers. One was game changer, and then one was like second tier, call it. The three game changers of offer sheets that you could be looking at were Jason Robertson, Pavel Dorofeev, and Leo Carlson.
Leo Carlson.
Yes. And the problem with the offer sheets, and I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around like what
They're confusing.
They're super confusing. But the way it looks and what I'm seeing on the graphic that they produced was Robertson on an offer sheet, it'd be 1 year at $16 million.
We can afford. I clock radio. He can afford.
Yes. But we would have to make some moves before that happens. But with that being said, it will cost us 4 first-round picks.
Good.
I know.
We draft like ass anyways.
So, and then Dorofeev is 5 years at $11.9 million. That would cost 2 firsts, a second, and a third-round pick. And then Leo Carlson was 5 years at $18 million per year, which would set the record in the NHL for annual salary.
That is an insane number.
And that's four first-round picks. With that being said, though, he's 21 years old. He's a first-line center. He had 29 goals, 67 points this year as a 21-year-old.
I do horrible things for him.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you got to take that into account. That I don't know what the percentage is on like first-round picks being an actual member of the team and a contributing member of the team, someone that you see as a fit for the Bruins. But I'm in the camp of saying when Frederick was on the Bruins and they drafted him first overall pick or a first round pick, excuse me, I would consider that a win. They grabbed him like 20 something, and he jumped in. He
was great as a Bruin. He was great. As an Oiler, different story.
Exactly, but like that's the caliber of first round picks that you're saying like that's a win. That being a realistic fan, that's a win, right?
Yes.
So let's say you get 3 Fredericks out of the four first round picks that you send over to Anaheim for Leo Carlson. That's a win for the Bruins in that case.
100%, because they're third, fourth liner sticking around for a couple of years, moving on, whatever. They're in the league, they're out of the league. Yeah, no, I agree.
And actually, that's what Jeff Gorton was talking a lot about. Is that you got to look at the roster you have right now, and are you in go mode, or are you in the mode of like letting these players develop and then you bring them up? And if the Bruins are in that on the fly rebuild, whatever it's called, then we have to make a move like this. And
I think no one knows what mode the Bruins are in, even the Bruins. Honestly, right? We overachieve. Cool. But where do we go? Do we push all the chips in and make throw an offer sheet out there, make the big splash on the trade, whatever it is? It doesn't seem like there is a known direction on where the team is heading. Just looking at current roster and the log jam of prospects who are average, who I really haven't gotten a shot.
yeah,
But if they get a shot, it's not a big enough sample size to kind of deem whether, I don't know. And like we have a lot of guys that like on the, I don't know. I'm at literally a loss for words and like describing the roster, like the age gaps, where folks are in their career and everything.
They're a confusing team, man. They're so confusing. They have the framework to be a great hockey team, and they just need like 2 or 3 like big pieces, and like that's obviously easier said than done. But listen, I still think there's a little bit of a window here, and that might be crazy talk, but if you have Pastrnak, McAvoy, and Swayman on your roster,
agreed.
You can't let that time go by. You just can't. And I really think that like the prospects have not unfolded in our favor. And I'm hoping Higgins has a turnaround and is a big piece of the team next year. But they have, and like little pieces too. Like they have Murat, they have Minton, they have these guys on the roster that like are that part of the algorithm of a winning hockey team. And now you need some dudes, you need some studs to come in, and again, it's easier said than done, and they're going to have to pay a pretty penny for it. And I really hope that Don and Cam Neely are thinking that way.
I agree. It's just, I don't know. We can talk about this till we're blue in the face. Something needs to happen, but no, that's interesting. Yeah. They had some of those names because I even saw an article about like Kachuk's being reunited in Florida and like what a return could look like. It was like Sam Miskevich, Lundell, and a first. Like, it seems pretty good if you're a Panther to kind of give that up, even though Lundell's an animal. There's just so many different directions with the free agency the way it is. Teams are going to have to kind of put their nuts on the table, and kind of lay it all out there and make a move. It's just very interesting to see how everything's going to play out. Yeah,
and I think like the other piece of the offer sheets was a few other names. There was the rookie on I don't know if he's a rookie actually, Bolduc on Montreal, and then the one that I was very intrigued by, not a center, but what could be a huge piece, was Maverick Bourque out of Dallas.
He's quick. He's got game. That kid Bolduc, he had earlier in the series, he had this like 1T from the slot. The puck was moving 150 miles an hour. It was the craziest shot I've ever seen. And he's a big boy too.
I know.
Like, wouldn't be a bad ad, but again, I think he's just another one of those.
That's the problem.
Those guys, right? Just another like Casey Middlestat.
It's like trying to decide on takeout on a Friday night where you're like, do we venture out a little bit, or we just go with the hits? And we have to get out of that mindset of getting the same players for the Bruins, because you can't just have all B grade players and expect an A performance. You just can't.
Agreed.
That's not how it works. So it'll be interesting. I did see some positive news from a competitive standpoint that I think Buffalo and Tuck, I think that's going to fizzle out. And I think Tuck's camp believed that this was going to be done during the year before playoffs, and it just kept going on and on and on. And I think they're going to fall out of his price point, and he's going to see money on the table that he just simply can't refuse. And they'll retain Benson. I think they'll probably get Benson for 7 or 8 a year. couple
Yeah,
of
they don't
years.
have a ton of money either.
No, they don't.
I just
and I
don't
think
see him coming to the Bruins, honestly.
no, I don't think they'll come, which is fine. Honestly, like that's a win in itself. If Tuck was able to get out of the division,
Totally.
it'd be huge.
Go to like mini or something.
Yeah. But like the trade board, I saw. I think it was I forget who it was, but they tweeted out like the top 20 names for the trade board, and Lowry was in the top 10. Trocheck was number 1. I think people are going to overspend on Trocheck. Kyrou was in the top 5. So these players are seemingly available, but you got to put together the right package. And to your point, I really think you got to leave Lowry and Middlestat alone and keep them on the roster and build around what we already have for a framework and get the top guys in the system.
I agree. It's just, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what the draft looks like. And I think after July 1st, like the first week of July, I think we'll be able to sit down. We'll be able to come back here and just put our heads together.
Yeah. And from a draft perspective, been looking a ton into it, and there's a bunch of names that are being thrown around the Bruins way. I just saw a new name today that I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to look into this because now we're on like name 11 of players that could go at 23, which we've already discussed is a horrible sign because there's not a clear cut name there. If Ryan Lynn somehow falls at 23, you grab him. You absolutely grab him. Little right shot defenseman, unbelievable. There's another name that I'm very interested in, and his name's Juho Pipparainen. He's a Finnish defenseman, big dude, 6'3", and he plays in for that Tampara, whatever the team out in Finland.
Yep.
Ara played them when he was in Belfast, and he said that it was their puck. Didn't give it up the entire game. Like one of the most.
So they're dialed.
Dialed. So, and he's young. He's like a very big, like shutdown defenseman. The only concern on him is that he has not adjusted offensively, which gives me a little bit of pause because you kind of want to see at least a little bit of offensive game that can translate, that can grab you 30, 40 points at that defensive defenseman position. With that being said, if he's a lockdown D-man and he's grabbing 15, 20 points a year, totally fine with it. You need guys like that on your roster. So I would be very interested if he was on the board when the Bruins are picking. And then there's a couple other names too. There's a kid from, I think it's Czech, Adam Golier. He's from Slovakia, big defenseman. Don't want him. So I think where my brain goes is either Lynn or that guy Pipparainen. If it's not one of those two, move on, trade it. Don't suffer on the pick.
I agree. I'm just under the impression they need to move off this pick.
Yeah,
and just get on with their lives, and just use it as a bargaining chip because you hit big, like Gord said, you hit big maybe on like a Marchand or something like the third round, but I don't know. There's not enough conviction there.
No.
For us to keep that pick at the end of the day.
I agree. Agreed.
Well, kind of, I know we said we want to keep these kind of shorter for y'all. Approaching the half-hour mark here. Anything else on B's housekeeping around the league?
No, I was looking into a little bit of Radish, just seeing what he would get for a contract.
Oh boy,
I mean, he's
touched that.
Yeah, he's making $970,000 this year, and he's 29, if I'm not mistaken. I think some team is going to overpay. We've probably seen this 100 times over. Where, and Sean Morris jumped in on the Instagram the other day, and he provided a good analysis on what he thought about him. And
friend
he was
of the program,
grabbed a lot of points from the power play because Hedman wasn't there. Unbelievable power play with Kucherov. Obviously, unbelievable offensive game all the way through for Tampa, and I think he really jumped on that opportunity and I think some team's going to give him about eight or $9 million a year for 6 or 7 years, and I think in a year or two we'll look back and say that was a stupid deal. So
And we dodged the bullet. I agree 100%. 100%. And we'll have to see how things play. The pool, like, good for the guys in free agency. They're going to get paid and overpaid, right? So good for them. Again, as a Bruins fan, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stay strong.
I hear you. Well, boys and girls, I think next week or the following week, we'll have, as mentioned, we'll have this announcement, but we'll probably lose some people too, because we want to break down off campus. I don't know if everyone's been watching. Brian, you're about halfway through, a little over halfway through. Once we get through the whole thing, we're going to break this puppy down and give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and we'll lose some people. You don't want to listen? That's cool, but you might want to tune in. We're going to have some good takes for you. So before we wrap, anything on your side, Brian?
No, good to go.
Right on. Well, June's around the corner. Get out there, hit the links, get on the water, and we'll keep pumping out some content and keep an eye out for that announcement here coming in the next few weeks.